BenFlyingRetro, and I'm embarking on a quest to purchase every classic GI Joe comic from the original 80s and 90s Marvel run.
Warning.
Hunting down individual issues from every corner of the globe in whatever order the universe decides to give me. Join me and my pal Steve every week as we discuss my latest find. Welcome to Chasing Joe. Chasing Joe. Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Chasing Joe, where a man, me, BenFlyingRetro, is tracking down every issue of the Marvel era run from 1982 to 1994, but I'm not doing it by myself. I've got my good pal, Jubba Lang, with me.
It's the Juggernaut, bitch.
Jubba Lang, that's a Rocky 3. Are you getting that?
Yeah, I'm getting that. And I counted with I suppose a 2003 reference. Internet meme. Do you remember that at all?
I don't.
Bitch. No,
oh, okay.
Yeah. Pulling it back.
Everyone knows the format of this show by now. The postman, he's binneth. And look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please do not bend stickers on this. So I don't want to see the postman just flexing.
Are we dealing with a particularly high value book in that case, Ben?
Ooh, wow. What, maybe an issue 1 or an issue 21 or something? Only one way to find out.
Stanley knife.
First. Safety.
What do you call it? A box cutter?
There we go.
A blade.
He's
in.
Ravens fly out. Okay, that's not a comic. That's the Do Not Bend. I really hope there's something in here.
I want to see a really dodgy post. Oh, it's coming out.
Wow. What have we got?
Snake Eyes?
Oh, jeez. We have got issue 140, came out in July 1993, but everyone knows who watches this show, we only deal with cover dates that say September. Seriously, what is going on with that? I'm starting to get a little bit freaked.
It's bizarre, but I love a coincidence. We are in October, though, so the joke's worn out, unfortunately. It's overstayed welcome. But we are dealing with a book that says, in tiny billing, G.I. Joe, Snake Eyes, featuring Snake Eyes, and what's that beneath Snake Eyes?
Jeez, why am I looking at a book with a massive transformer on it, S-Jumps?
Bizarre. What a bizarre time in the G.I. Joe run where they decided to dip their toes into Transformers Generation 2, mind you.
Look, this is a crinkle cut bag. I'm going to have to re-sleeve this. Now, shall we get straight to the price guessing? So 95p back in 1993. I got it from eBay. What do you think I paid?
Whoa, okay, I have been appalling at this. I'd say I've got better odds going against me. It's more likely that I'm £5 or more out. So let's say it's in the early teens. I'm going to say £12.
£12. Can I just ask you why you're saying that? Because we're up into the 140s. You're thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking the run is coming to its later days. Okay. Lower print runs. It's desperate times. They're putting Snake Eyes on the cover with narrower Snake Eyes to be seen, but it's just this is the most popular character. Please buy our book. I can
tell you that it was listed for a whopping £4.95 with accepting offers, and this guy accepted an offer of £4, bringing my running total to a whopping £29.45. Or $40 if you want to work in American dollars.
I like that because it's $10 an issue, $10 an episode, And if you think about it like that, you know, you can sleep easy at night. What can do with $10 a week? Comic tax.
Wow.
Whoa.
Spider-Man and
cover.
the X-Men on the Mega Drive or the Sega Genesis, if you're in the US of A. I don't
Were
think
you
I
a
had
fan of
that.
that title?
I had an X-Men game on the Mega Drive, but it wasn't that one. But
Did you have
what a
X-Men
lovely
2,
ad.
The Clone Wars, perhaps?
I mean, I
That was
would
a
run
good
out
one.
and buy that.
Oof.
Well, look, let's get into it. That is a kinetic, high-energy cover. I mean, that makes me want to read it, S-Jubs.
Who is that character? I mean, we know Hoodie Coco, the hooded Cobra Commander.
Wait, Hoodie Coco Pops? I mean,
Hoodie
okay.
Coco. Cringe. I don't like that term, but it has caught
Look.
on. It's popular.
S-Jubs, is this the waxing and the waning of the GI Joe brand? Are they, at this point, just trying anything to reignite this IP? Is this why they are calling it Snake Eyes? Is this why they're chucking a massive transformer on there? What was happening circa 1993 with this comic book? I take it readership was down.
I'm no comic historian.
You certainly are not, because you don't even board and bag your comics.
Oh,
So, shots
cut
fired.
me deep. Yeah. But look, my theory, junk science theory, if you will, I think G.I. Joe, in the US at least, was a better selling book than Transformers ever was. The Transformers comic was dead by this point, in the US, that is. UK, different story. And so this was a way for Hasbro to hitch their new product to a book that was still a going concern. I'm basing this on absolutely nothing, but I do feel like the Generation 2 toys were in stores and they didn't have a comic book to support it. So guess what? The Hasbro marketers sweet talk Marvel into putting their toys into another book.
This is what my good wife Emma would call sweating the assets, S-Jubs.
Right.
They clearly realized that, hey, this guy Snake Eyes is our most popular character. Let's see what happens if we put his name on the front of the book. I'd be interested to know if there was an uptick, or the other way, if it was like, oh, no.
It's so obviously a ploy because Snake Eyes, as we've said at the top of this podcast, was emblazoned on the cover, given top billing, and nary a Snake Eyes in this issue was seen. Not one single appearance.
Well, let me hit you with some
The Emperor weareth no
nostalgia.
clothes. Yeah.
The Chief, friend of the show, the Chief. Now he came over to my house with. Wait, hang on. Which is the first issue where they put Snake Eyes on the?
Gosh.
Is it this one? No.
I could have a quick little check in my sneaky records, and I can tell you.
He pulled up at the house on his bike, came in, had a rucker on, took the rucksack off, reached in, pulled out a G.I. Joe book, slammed it down, and said, "What is going on with this?" Doesn't even say G.I. Joe on the front.
Issue
Not happy.
135.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, do you reckon they did this for a whole year? They may have done. Youch.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
they clearly saw a downtrend.
look at
because they dropped
G.I.
it.
Joe. I like to think of them like someone's like, I've made it quite small, and then someone comes in, smaller, keep reducing the font size of the G.I. Joe bit. Yeah, wow.
As many a toy historian is quick to point out, when you're competing with things like the Ninja Turtles, you've got to lean into that the katanas, the size, the bow staff, and the nunchuck. Like, so you got to have Ninja right there.
Broadly speaking, big strokes. For you, S-Jubs, does the confluence of these two properties make them larger than the sum of their parts? Do you think if you chuck G.I. Joe and Transformers in the same book, you're getting something that's incredible? Or Oh, are we saying no?
Let's
Not
moderate our
getting something.
expectations a little bit. Incredible? No, this is very much boilerplate GI Joe plotting with a Transformer in the book. The Transformer being Megatron. For many of us, myself, Megatron is the best Transformers, most compelling character there is. And he's interesting. And if there is a character that you want to see on those pages, it's Megs. Dressed up in his G2
Wow.
stylings,
You've clearly
that's a little bit divisive.
You've clearly never met Blaster.
Cute. Twin cast. You need to get yourself a proper Blaster toy, my boy.
Wow, shots being fired all over the place today from S-Jumps.
It's episode 4. We're thick. We're buddies. We've bonded, and now it's time to start, picking up the wallpaper a little bit.
I feel like this issue is very much we're coming in and it's chess pieces being moved. What strikes me when I open this issue, we get a lovely splash page. Don't know if you can get that up.
Oh, you bet.
And it's almost like the animals of the Farthing Wood. You've got bunnies, you've got deer, you've got foxes. I bet the artist... Wait a minute. Who is the artist?
Chris Batista, who came on for this arc, pun intended.
Is this before his run in the WWE or after?
Very good. Yeah, it was run about the same time. Who knew?
He must have had fun, I reckon, drawing these animals. That is lovely. I love a splash page.
Oh, yes. What screams Canada more than a snowy landscape filled with deer?
Yeah, frozen tundra.
Forest folk. But we quickly get into it, don't we? I mean, this new character, Dr. Biggles Jones. Had you ever heard of her before this book?
Negative. Negative. But I tell you what I had heard of, and that is those joyous purple and hot pink techno vipers. I feel like if you're going to enlist for Cobra, I think that's a pretty cushy little number. Do they ever get like field time? Because in here, they're just like playing some chess, hitting some buttons. It feels like a good gig.
They are in the back of a Cobra helicopter. It looks hell of a roomy, but...
Your favorite helicopter, my goodness.
Dr. Biggles Jones is definitely riding in one of these.
By the way, can I just interrupt? Pods, saw the postman. Just saw him. He just walked past. That's a comic. That's another one. He just put it in there.
It's like we should do
He's live. I should have had the window open. Oh, it could have been a whole scene.
Yeah, the unseen comic book. Let's do a twofer.
Oh, dear. Yeah, no, look, I mean, from your point of view, at least in this issue, you're getting more of the Cobra transport helicopter, which, according to you, you kind of made out of cardboard when you were a child.
They've given it mouths.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because it's being drawn by someone different in this issue. Yeah. So what are you saying?
I mean, obviously, Rod Wiggum from the previous episode, when we did 116, he was an architect of a design, so he had refined it to the point of absolute perfection. Like, you could not tell me that this wasn't based on a toy, a realistic plastic toy, a three-dimensional object that he could perceive from all angles. But Chris Batista does a damn fine job, even if it's a far more pared-down, basic job. I'm no art critic, but, you know,
I was going to say, do you know that people that are into art, like high, fine art, they say that the true judge of an artist is, can you draw a perfect circle? Freehand, S-Jubs. But I feel like if you were giving an art lecture, you'd say, can you draw a perfect Cobra transport helicopter?
Yeah,
you may get some strange looks in that art class. But there you go. Megatron is in camo there. Something
Purple.
that I never knew him in that guise at all. It's cool.
even in the 90s, it was not cool to have a transforming gun toy. So the move to a tank. Let's talk about that for a second. I've got some deep nostalgia linked to old Megsy and his tank guys. But
Okay.
Are you not a fan?
Well,
I presume.
even watching the G1 cartoon as a kid, I still couldn't take the leap of understanding this dude is transforming into a pistol that's then being held by Starscream. I was like, relativity, scale, what's happening to the metal? He's shrinking down to something that's tiny. It just didn't make any sense. So I think the tank is a much better option. But, you know, I have no memory of having that toy. I had G1 Megatron.
Though
he was a
Meg's
spindly little bugger.
Yeah, it's a weird look. A tank seems like something like an underling would transform into, like a real bruiser. But then again, Megatron prized himself on being the toughest Decepticon.
What would you have him transform into?
I would think something sleek. I think something airborne. But maybe it's nice having a dichotomy between him and the Seekers. It's like they are his birds.
Pangs. I feel like I got Megatron G1 for Christmas. I feel like, did the pistol have like an arm brace of some kind?
Yes.
Like a shot. Why?
It was a stock that then the actual pad separated into a tripod, and you could lock his scope and his barrel extension as like a standalone cannon that he could then kind of man.
What an unreal toy!
The concepts, man.
Wow.
What was it called? It was micro chain. No, Diaclon. I don't know. Now we're getting into the weeds of like my lack of Transformers knowledge.
I've got a Transformer just sitting up on that shelf. I'm gonna go grab him.
Micro change. What are the Japanese names? Man from U.N.C.L.E. That was the original presentation of that gun. Drop down into the comments and give me a hard time.
We always display our toys in this house. Check out this mother. Look at this. This is ceremonial Starscream. Now, he hasn't got his shoulder pads on at the moment, but look at that. Is a thing of beauty from the
cartoon
movie.
Accurate coloring. Yeah.
Get on with the ceremony. Yeah, Transformers is big in our house, S-Jubs, not going to lie. Scout, my 4-year-old, is all in on Transformers, which suits me fine.
But of the two of us, only one of us has seen Transformers 1. It's good.
We're booked in for next Friday. But let's get it back to Joe. Mindbender is in this issue. A couple of scenes with Mindbender. There's one where he's in the bath, he's packing ice on himself. And I reflected, when does Mindbender's physique betray his character? Like, when does he have time to go to the gym and do PT sessions with Big Boa? Like, he's absolutely one of the henches. Like, he's so ripped. I'm just thinking he's a scientist. Although maybe he's injecting himself with hard roids.
I was about to say, or subcutaneous, like cosmetic, like pads.
Oh,
you know how you can kind of get like a muscle suit, like you can kind of get a physique surgically inserted into you. I don't know if this is fantasy, but like you can have fake pecs put in.
Look,
I'm sure I've seen an episode of Watched or something. My wife subjects me to this shit all the time. But like,
no acting job is worth that, S-Jubs. Don't.
But imagine you want to have like a hench physique without spending a single moment of your time lifting weights.
I don't need to imagine that.
There are people out there who do that.
You're talking to someone that is going to the gym daily, trying to become Quick Kick.
Oh, mate. We're dads. Own that bod. Come on.
Yeah, because we were talking about...
If you are a doctor, if you are interested in cosmetic appearance modification, that is available to you. I don't know if it was available to you in the 80s. but
Well, look,
Mindbender could have pioneered it.
I want to get up because Mindbender is just over there, but I can't keep getting up on this damn show. My fig, I actually snapped his arm off when I was a kid. I don't know what I was doing, so I've super glued it.
You are a savage.
No savages here, S-Jubs. Just as someone that can really play well with their toys.
Well, do you throw it at the wall, perhaps?
I remember feeling I got him when his series, what series is Mindbender?
1986. Though in the UK, he would have been released 88.
Yeah, but I kind of got him maybe in like 1990. And it was just very strange to see him in the wild. And I grabbed him with both hands. And I couldn't believe I was getting a high-level Cobra fig in the wild. So I felt very lucky to have Mindbender because things like version 1 Destro were very difficult for me to get. Like, if you didn't have a fig back then, it was gone. And, if you couldn't trade with a friend, that was kind of it. So
version 1 Destro had a very small release window in your neck of the woods, man. Because Red Jackal came with the hyena. And that was Destro mold, but not Destro.
Action Force,
Destro
you're talking about?
was an Action Force Palitoy carded figure for like maybe 1 year. So if you didn't get him in Christmas of 85 or 6, that's it, man.
Limited play. Well, maybe not for me because I snapped his arm off. But
what were you doing?
When I used to play with Mindbender, I mean, he's just there. He's doing science and stuff. I should have had him lifting weights because when I used to do setups and we do a Cobra base, we would always have Big Boa running a PT session.
Nice.
That was just like what we always had them like doing push-ups, and you'd have Road Pig in there for sure. I should have had Dr. Mindbender in there.
Getting yoked, bro.
Yeah. But we can't talk about Big Boa because he doesn't feature in this issue, but I really wish we could because he's one of my faves.
Well, you're gonna go without. I have
I know.
Suspicion. Big Boa. There was. Do you not want to get the 3D comics? I think you might make an appearance.
I'm chasing Joe. I'm chasing it all. You don't know. You don't know what that postman could have just dropped off. I mean, not even I know because I'm buying so many damn books as jobs.
All right.
It's ridiculous. No, I think I've made a decision. I'm just going to get everything. Yes. The 3D in those books, I feel like I had other comics that used that type of 3D. Don't remember it being that great.
No. It was sort of the red and blue lens, and I'm
just looking at my notes here. I've got
what's on your notes.
In all caps, it just says, "Why are my alley vipers the wrong color?"
Oh, zing! Yeah.
What's going on?
The Bumblebee alley vipers.
What is going on with that? No need.
What did you expect them to the color of Fanta Orange forever? This is Fanta Peach, baby.
Another shot fired from S-Jubs. That is the only Viper colorway that I need. No, those don't do it for me at all. It was just jarring.
They did do an interesting thing with the mask in that it now has this very bestial, feral, like jaguar. Like it's got teeth and it's got little eye openings. I mean, the classic Alley Viper mask is a case of, with the blast shield down, I can't see a thing. How am I supposed to fight? It's like, how you get your head around that, man?
Yeah.
Whereas these actually have eye holes.
The grapple hook on the rucker.
Yeah. Same backpack.
Yeah, for ascending, descending kind of thing. Is that what you're thinking? Infiltration.
Absolutely. Ascension guns. Yeah, look, they're sculpted so fully that it tantalizes you that you can't take that gun off. Mm-hmm. And in the 25th anniversary version of the Alley Viper and later what they call modern construction, that backpack had a removable grapple gun.
Okay.
So they finally did it. Yeah.
One of my absolute faves. I didn't.
Just not
I
in this
got him.
colorway.
I got him in a Argos blind bag, which seems bizarre for the time, where you just rock up to Argos and you're getting 3 figures, but you don't know what figures they are.
Were they blind? Were they not bubble? You could see them, but they were randomly assigned.
Dude, you can't see anything in Argos. Do you know what? Sorry, I'm talking about Argos like it's just regular parlance. Argos is a catalog-based thing where you go in. It's essentially a warehouse, and you get a little piece of paper. I want that from the magazine, and then they go out the back and they give it to you.
I have heard of this mythical system.
Laminated Book of Dreams, us Brits used to call it.
Good lord. So random grab bag of Joes.
It just seems strange. Grab bags feels like a very modern, blind bag, grab bag.
Yeah, but it was around back then even.
Yeah.
Rando. That's interesting, man. Okay, so you got, what did you say, Alley Viper?
Yeah, but I wanted to I would have loved to have troop built that dude. I think I've been on one of your shows before where I've said I've got this whole story of like a platoon of Alley Vipers. Like I'd love a 6-book run of that or something. Oh my goodness. Urban environments. Just breach, the shields. Ooh.
Well, Ben,
Yes.
if ever there was an angle for you to enter the play motion full amateur filmmaking,
Dude, it would probably cost me
that's the
about
story you should tell.
It probably cost me about 200 quid to get like 10 of those guys now. What are they, like 20, 30 quid each?
Well, you're the kind of collector who needs them complete. Army builders, like, get one complete one, and the
That's
rest
true.
be ramshackle.
That's
so
true.
that they have character, have some different gear.
Yeah.
Lock
Other
those,
things-
like, shave down the little, like, mounting nubs on the Alley Viper's helmet, and you've got an Alley Viper who just doesn't have his face shield.
Shave them down. Wow.
Well, sand them down, buff them down, if you want a real smooth job. Keep your squad looking unique.
How many Alley Vipers do you have in your PC?
I have 3.
Lovely.
One is very played with. All of them have face shields, so like I'm a massive hypocrite, but that's just a cool thing. Like I
That's
remember
just the aesthetic of the figure, isn't it?
I remember being in preschool and being in a kind of I don't know if it was like a roll call, like just in a line basically. And one of the kids produced from his pocket the Alley Viper. And I thought, wow, that's a striking looking figure. And then he proceeded to flip the visor. And I was like, my little 5-year-old brain couldn't handle it. That was amazing. To see that an action figure could do that, astounding.
Oh, man. Other things I've got in my notes here, I've got, is Spirit's Eagle oversized? The wingspan is colossal. Brother of the Wind.
Oh, yeah. The scripting gets a little bit ham.
Is it too on the nose?
Oof. I mean, Harmer, he loves
certainly
playing the minority card. He is Asian American, and he's putting some very ham-fisted dialogue in the mouth of a Native American character here. But yeah, Brother of the Wind, I don't know. It's Spirit. You almost expect him to speak like that.
I've got a particularly rare Spirit. I think my Spirit figure is like
Euro exclusive.
It's worth maybe £100. I think Chief, my friend Chief, sold his for a very good price.
And I've seen it go for around there. In fact, with no crotch for like 100 US. So
mine's mint.
Ooh,
yeah,
cool.
Mint. Yeah, I mean, how
don't
are
be
you?
sliding him down no banisters, please.
I can't get there with him because I just don't feel like Spirit is the kind of guy that's going to steal Blizzard's skis and partake in that. Spirit just sort of wants to sit down, maybe get some soil and just like, they're close. He's that guy. He's the guy you go to when you're mood setting. You know? He kind of sets the scene.
Often theorized on GI Joburg that his Euro deco, the sort of grey, the red like splash of color across the side, very superhero.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Kind of elevated the character from being this like
Well,
stereotypical Native American dress to being something more of like a night stalking urban environment. Like he's Falcon before Falcon could fly. He's got this kinship with his bird.
I think you've brought us very nicely back to the pages of this book, because you could say that this artist, he feels a little bit, the way he draws feels a little bit more superhero-y and kind of cartoony. It's not my style, really. Like there's see how he's drawn Hawk towards the end of the book. I think that just sums up the art style nicely. There's a kind of levity to everything. Does that make sense? It's not there. It's when he's on the walkie.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's the penultimate page, S-Jubs.
Let's find it for the viewers.
There's just
on the walkie-talkie.
I don't know. It's like, is it low stakes art? I don't even know if I'm making sense, but that's what it
there are
brings
definitely
across to
pages
me.
that have more polish than others.
Look at Mainframe.
What have they done to my boy?
I love Mainframe. He's not
Still.
boring to me, S-Jubs. He is not boring to me. He feels like the kind of guy that would, maybe come over and help you fix your TV.
Top 10 figure for me, mate.
Yes,
No doubt about it.
S-Jubs.
Yeah, I'm a Mainframe boy.
Tell me why. Top 10 is actually quite wild.
Childhood figure has a lot to do with it. Earliest childhood figure.
Yes,
so I had a few from that series, but Mainframe art is the one who survived the longest unblemished.
Oh,
I had Iceberg, I had Monkey Wrench, I had Lifeline, and I had Mainframe. And Mainframe somehow avoided childhood battles because he didn't come with a gun until I became a little bit older. And I was like, this guy's deco is cool. He's got amazing detail. Sure, he doesn't come with a gun, but that's not a deal breaker. You can give him anyone's gun out of the toy box. But he comes with this cool computer.
Oh,
and the computer became such an important plot device.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he was the key member of of the team that you needed to get to the objective so he could do something on Cobra's computers. Like,
100%.
Mainframe was the linchpin of the whole game.
Yeah, he's always popping up in the comics and in play because of the reasons you just said.
Yep.
He is G.I. Joe's guy for that stuff. Oh, I love him. He was a very early figure for me too. Very early. Maybe, I think officially Airtight was my first carded figure.
Why Airtight? Bought for you, or did you pick him?
I don't know. Bought for me, I think. But,
okay.
Oh yeah.
Did you give him a gun, or did you play up the sniffer as some kind of weapon?
No. Played it up as a weapon.
What did it do?
I didn't have a
gas.
It was like, it wasn't like projectiles. It was just like a spray. Spray and pray, baby.
Was it corrosive, like an acid, like Alien?
No, because I wasn't. I don't think I was that sort of grotesque at that time. I don't think I was melting. I don't think I was like melting the enemy's face away.
You could be melting the enemy's tanks.
Yeah, well, I had one of the first vehicle I got was the Cobra Ferret. And I think that's what I used to do, just chase that thing around. But that's funny. The figures you were just
shooting. Come on, Ben. You haven't answered my question, buddy.
I don't know, S-Jubs. I just think it was some kind of nasty, itchy liquid. I definitely wasn't violent enough for it to be like, I'm melting your entire body off, Cobra.
More akin to Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, maybe you wake up the next day with a slight rash after a skirmish with my Airtight. Sounds like you don't want to run up against S-Jubs because they'll be identifying you from your fillings.
On fire tonight, baby. So what else have you got in your notes, man? We have an amazing cameo from a very G1 Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. Broadcasting from Cybertron.
I feel like when I turned that final page, it wasn't actually until then that I realized Oh yeah, Transformers. Here we go. There was something about that Megatron not looking like a G1. I don't know. And then when you see Prime, you're like, okay. I don't really need them involved in my GI Joe stories. So yeah,
it seems a bit desperate at this point, which is ironic because now GI Joe hitches itself to Transformers stuff.
Of course.
To kind of be elevated. Whereas in this instance, a dead book and the characters that had kind of concluded their story are now being brought back into the conflict on the coattails of a GI Joe book.
Yeah, it's apt that we are talking about this issue in this current climate with, they've gone so big on the Energon verse. And yeah, Transformers and GI Joe are as one. They are occupying the same universe. There's a new GI Joe book about to drop next month, isn't it? The new run. And
Pythona is making an appearance in the next Void Rivals book. Has that got you interested?
Okay. No, it hasn't. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to read this new run. It doesn't look like it's for me, this new take. I do think they will actually jettison the Transformers thing. I don't think this is going to be every issue they're rocking up. I really don't. Or what do you think?
It'll come and go. I think there's enough. There's certainly enough content in a GI Joe book, and they've demonstrated it with the miniseries. Like, they're only tangentially dealing with Cybertronian technology. There's enough stuff going on, enough intrigue and world building within GI Joe, as there always has been, for them to not lean into Transformers too much. It's just a given that Energon is the now big MacGuffin that powers all this stuff. Because let's be honest, most of GI Joe and Cobra's motor pool, like, the big concern is how the hell are they being powered? How can something as small and lightweight as a Skyhawk be able to carry as much weapons as it does and still have fuel to complete its mission?
Yeah.
A trouble bubble. Where's the fuel on that thing? Energon, baby. Solves all your problems. It's like Iron Man's arc reactor. It's like all of a sudden, yes, someone the size of a human in a power suit can have war-ending weaponry.
Yeah. Whoa, ho, ho, it's magic. I'm going to be honest with you, S-Jubs. When I am sitting down to read a G.I. Joe book, I do need it to feel like toys on pages, and I want to feel nostalgia. So I just don't think I've got any business reading a new take on things. And I get why they're doing that, but it's just not for it's not being made for me, and that is totally fine. But I need them to look like the toys I had, because reading the comics is...
Read Destro. You got IGs, you got Crimson Guardsmen. They look like their originals. They don't look like the classified versions. And yet Skybound is able to keep the classified collectors happy by including those designs in, say, the Duke book. Rock and Roll, Stalker, Duke, they all have colorings of their classified designs. So there's this nice, and classified has no vehicle pool for the most part. Like, they've got a tank, they've got a Dragonfly, but they're being smart about it. They're playing to both markets.
It looks like with the G.I. Joe book that's coming out, though, there's a kind of a unification of a new look, and looking at the covers and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Look, to be fair, let's just say I'll read
flies
issue
around
1.
in a despoiler, and it looks absolutely like the despoiler has ever looked. And Scrap Iron looks like Scrap Iron. Mercer's redesign is cool, and I do feel like we're gonna get a classic Mercer look, maybe even in his Peter Pan boots. What are they? No, swashbucklers, whatever.
I just don't believe that this new run will have legs either. I think this is a book that would be around for 24 issues or something.
Is that reason enough to not follow it though.
No,
Here
no,
for
no.
a good time, not a long time.
No, it's not. I just think it's it's not that it's opportunistic. It's just. Do you think they commissioned this new book off the back of the success of the Void Rivals, Duke, Cobra Commander? They must have done, because those books actually shifted some quite big numbers. I think Cobra Commander especially.
I don't think you do these character focused 5-parters without having the big title as your end goal.
Are they doing a Cobra book?
These were all just prologues.
Are they doing a Cobra book that will run alongside it, like parallel to the? No, really. I actually thought that made sense. I thought that was the way that they were going to go.
If the market supports it, sure. But I think collapsing all of these. We are drifting way off topic here. 140. When you said you wanted to see toys on pages, I thought you were referring specifically to this issue, because it ain't, hashtag not my alley, Viper. What's in this book that grabs you, Ben?
As I said before, this is a chess game. They're just moving pieces for something that's bigger. So there's not actually, there's zero action in this book. I mean, there's an actual scene where they are literally playing chess as well.
Yes, at the Silent Castle. That's Destro's old chess set from issue 21.
We get some Zartan as well. He's not turning into a werewolf, but he's actually doing a very good Cobra Commander impression.
And he had me going for a second. I was like, wait, Cobra Commander's in Canada.
Oh yeah, you were fooled.
I was fooled, man.
You were quite the fool. I tell you what, I'm just flicking through. Wow, Dr. Mindbender really is naked. That is close. Wow.
Oh, well,
there's a lot in here, man. We've got Road Pig. If you like your Cobra physiques, this is the book for you. We've got some dial tone. Honestly, not much happens in this issue. There's there's quite an exciting bit with Ninja Force on top of the Arbco truck. But yeah, they're clearly moving things around and building to a crescendo.
Now, I've been remiss by not doing a summary once again, because nothing much happens in this issue as we outlined. But let me take a crack at it, even at this late stage.
I love this,
of the podcast. So, Cobra Commander has allied himself with Megatron and reconfigured Megatron to be a tank alternate mode. How fun.
Yes.
With the help of Dr. Biggles Jones, female, now Cobra doctor, who traveled to Canada to unearth the Ark from its resting place, where it's being refurbished and retrofitted and, healed from all of its battle damage. They fly the Ark with a Cobra armada of helicopters to Millville, which will be the staging ground for Megatron's latest scheme, whatever that is. Meanwhile, Destro, Baroness, and Zartan infiltrate the Silent Castle while Cobra's not there. And the Joes, in the meantime, want to roll out a plan to determine what the hell Cobra's doing in Millville with this transforming robot. Meanwhile, in deep space, the Autobots sense that there's some Decepticon activity on planet Earth and decide to beeline it back here. I think that's it.
There's nothing like a summary at the end of the show for the book.
Mindbender's clone body gets knocked over by a resident of Millville whose brainwashing has worn off, and reanimates. And yes, we are mighty close to seeing Crotch Rocket flopping about.
Oh, S-Jubs, doing this show is a joy, dude. Honestly.
Better late than never, pal.
I am just so enjoying doing this with you, buddy. I think it just hit me just then. Whilst I was looking at Mindbender's naked body.
God, I really need to do these.
People are enjoying the premises of this show, like the random nature of, and I have to say, I'm really loving it too. Like just jumping around, and I tell you what, we are really
a bit of a grab bag.
Well, yeah, It's just, what Joe Bookie.
It would be
reading
predictable
this week.
if we were doing a blow by blow and talking about, okay, and what do we think of this event?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think
Guess. I don't know what you're bringing. I don't know what I'm bringing.
I'm bringing books. Well, I think that's about all she wrote for this episode of Chasing Joe S. Jubs. Now, if you wanna be involved in the show behind the scenes, head over to Instagram and follow me at BenFlyingRetro. I'm trying to make 2 clip outs a week for this show, although I think I could make loads from this week's show. Now, if you like the sound of my voice, you can listen to my other podcast that I do every week over on Substack called People Who Play. It's me and my wife. We're talking about family. We're talking about nostalgia, retro stuff. Head on over to there if you fancy listening to that. I will see you next week, everybody.